Good morning. Super Duper Tuesday came and went. It looks like Biden was the big winner. Now I don't know for sure if there were shenanigans, but something tells me there was. Biden won in states where he never visited. He never had a campaign office. And it just seems kind of suspect. Especially when you consider that Sanders was favored to win Texas, and then Biden comes out of nowhere and takes it. And all the areas outside of Austin, it seems. I wasn't watching too closely on it, but I do know that Biden came out looking really good after yesterday, after all of these gaffes, after all the scandals that have plagued him, and yet he wins as many states as he did. Now, it was always, I guess, kind of expected that he would take the southern states. I mean, he is a Democrat after all. But the fact that he got Texas when Bernie was favored to win it is kind of, I don't know, a little suspicious. But he did get Beto O'Rourke's endorsement like the day before Super Tuesday. This is another thing, right? This is where all the backroom dealing comes in the Democratic primaries, right? So the day before Super Tuesday, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar both drop out and endorse Sanders. Sanders says, well, he may have a spot in my administration, which is sort of hinting at the fact that they may give Buttigieg the VP spot. I don't think they will. I think they'll probably more likely give it to somebody else if Buttigieg will get on some, some committee or some office in the administration. Maybe something military. He has a military background. Now, Sanders took California, which is kind of funny. But, I mean, it is the socialist framework for the rest of the United States, where you've got obscenely rich people and absolutely poor people and hardly any middle class whatsoever. But yeah, so that's the result of Super Tuesday. So it's still in dispute who the nominee is going to be. And if you look at 538's polling, right now the greatest chance in terms of the Democratic primary is a brokered convention. Now, if there's a brokered convention and Biden wins or is awarded the nomination, then there'll be riots in Milwaukee. All the Bernie bros, all the Antifa, all the filthy communists are going to come out of the woodwork and trash the town. I have no doubt. But who knows? And that would only actually help out Trump, because you see all these urbanites in Milwaukee. We'll see what happens when Bernie doesn't get his way, and they'll be pissed off at the Democrats, and they'll be pissed off at Bernie, and they'll be pissed off at their own, municipal administration, which is Democrat. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Democrat. So yeah, now who are the big losers in yesterday's Super Duper Tuesday? Bloomberg, who spent $750 million in advertising. He took 4 delegates in American Samoa. Good job. And apparently a statement from the campaign office came out yesterday, or from the campaign said, we'll be reassessing the campaign tomorrow. Maybe that's worth doing. I mean, I know Bloomberg is rich, but he doesn't have infinite money, and he didn't get rich by just throwing money at shit. He's eventually going to realize, he knows the value of $1. He's eventually going to realize, yeah, this was a waste of time, and I better as well just cut my losses. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's just gonna wait it out and hope for a broker convention and pull something out at the 11th hour that makes all the superdelegates go, maybe Bloomberg is the guy. I don't think so, but I think it's going to be Biden. I think they've already tapped him to be the nominee. there's a lot of speculation going on, and this is just fantasies, that he'll put up Hillary Clinton as his running mate, and then within the first year of his administration, he'll step down due to dementia, making her president. If that is the plan, which, it seems suspicious, but, I could see them doing it. If that is the plan, then then as long as that narrative sort of gains traction up to the election, that's going to make people come out and vote against Biden. And if the Republicans and conservative pundits can keep that narrative going, they will do anything, absolutely anything, to make sure that Hillary Clinton doesn't set foot in that White House again. She is reviled across the entire country. And Biden, he's scandal ridden. Here's another theory of mine with regards to Biden. So the DNC and the Democrat elite are looking at their field and going, okay, who can take on Donald Trump? And they're realizing, shit, none of them can really take on Donald Trump unless we really spin the narrative. So Sanders will lose because nobody wants socialism. Biden's our only inside guy who we know we can control, but he's losing it. He's got early onset dementia. He's losing it. So here's my cynical thought. They're going, okay, so he's got early onset dementia. Trump can't go after him for that because then he looks like a bully punching the poor old man with the dementia. It's elder abuse if he does. But if the media focuses on his dementia gaffes, they won't be focusing on the scandal associated with him and his family. And I've been watching a few videos and reading a few things. The whole Hunter Biden Ukraine thing, tip of the iceberg. That family is so dirty and so corrupt. And not just Hunter, his son, but his brother, his sister, his niece. Just about everybody associated with the Bidens has been involved in some sort of grift or scheme. Money laundering, fraud. It's unbelievable how dirty that family is. I encourage you to go Google it, because I'm not going to link anything in the description. I'm doing this on my way to work. And when I get to work, I just use the work's Wi-Fi to upload it. So, yeah, look it up. Look at the Biden corruption. It is unbelievable. I thought the Clintons were bad. The Clintons are bad. Clintons are dirty as the day is long. But the Bidens are just as dirty. I think it's simply just, you know what? You stay in government long enough, you eventually become dirty. You can't play the game without rolling around in the mud. You can't wrestle pigs without getting dirty. And that's what's happened. That's why I don't trust any of the people who have been in government for 20, 30 years. That's why I think Elizabeth Warren is a scumbag. She's already been proven a liar and a race hustler. Every statement she makes, Gad Saab made a good point about this, every statement she makes, there's not a word that comes out of her mouth that isn't some form of cynical identity politics. She's talking about, whether it be gender or race. The biggest race hustler of them all, who pretended to be Native American to get a job, who lied about being fired for being pregnant twice. Anyway, but yeah, she's been in government for 20, 30 years. She's as dirty as the rest of them. It's funny, people rail about Donald Trump being, this millionaire, how apparently running a business or being a successful entrepreneur and making millions and millions of dollars, they immediately assume that you did something evil to win that money, to make that money. But people who've been working in government on civil servant salaries wind up being multimillionaires after 20, 30 years, owning multiple homes, living in gated communities outside their own districts, a la Maxime Waters. Anyway, I don't trust anybody who's been in government that long, with the exception of Maxime Bernier, because like Rand Paul, like Ron Paul, he was a conservative for years, but he was always an outsider because of his libertarian leanings. And I do think, you know, he's probably a decent person. Now, maybe he's got skeletons in his closet, but so far, I haven't seen it. I know there was that scandal with regards to his girlfriend having access to documents or some shit, but that ended up being a big nothing burger, but it still tarnished him. In any event, it's why I don't trust politicians who've been in the business for you know, decade after decade, enriched themselves, done very little to actually make the country a better place. All they've done is embiggen the government and made it bigger and more bloated. But yeah, so that's the big takeaway from Super Tuesday. Oh, another thing, yeah, speaking of Elizabeth Warren, she didn't even win in her home state. She lost in Massachusetts. And Bernie, this was what was really suspicious for me. Bernie only won in Vermont by a very small margin. Like, it wasn't a very big margin. I think it was like a half a dozen points or something like that. I'll have to go back and look, because last I looked, it was not a very big margin. He should have won Vermont in a landslide, and the margin was much, much smaller. That's another thing that makes me think there were shenanigans. I gotta find another parking spot. All the parking's taken in the front here. So, in any event, I'm at work now. I don't have much more to say, but that was my take on Super Duper Tuesday. And I hope you all have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at BragCD. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.